Okay, that's up and running. And if you didn't already, I do have some Siren State stuff that I remembered to actually put together this time, so if you don't have it up, feel free to pop it up.
You know when I don't have
Several
it up. You can
times.
just call me out if you want.
Oh, I don't think I ever have the page up that shows the connect. Oh wait, I guess I can just expand that.
It'll always tell you if I don't have it open because it'll give you that warning at the top.
Oh, is that what? I always wondered why that shows sometimes when I'm testing stuff. Oh, that makes sense.
And
Alright.
that explains why sometimes I hear random shit when I shouldn't, and I should just be being quiet.
Well, hopefully you didn't have it up last night and heard things. So I was testing stuff. All right.
That just makes it sound lewd.
Well, most of their conversations are.
Sounds about right. Okay, so question of the day to start with. So since our list is very, very short, and I don't want to roll like a bajillion different D100s, I scrolled through here and grabbed one out here that seemed like it would be interesting. So the one that we're going to go with for today is, what memory keeps you awake at night?
There was a time where I heard a child crying in the night, saying that they were drowning. And I almost was able to get back to sleep. But unfortunately, the thought nagged in my mind that it could have been Mix, and so I was unfortunately compelled to go save the bastard from his own demise. If only I had fallen back asleep that night so many years ago, my life would have been much, much different.
That's
Not where I thought that was going, but okay.
All right. All right.
Sure where that was going to end up, but we should have known it would have circled back to Mix. It always does.
All right. Zai, what keeps you up at night?
I'm not sure. I'm still thinking.
Still thinking? Okay. Jinku, Torto. Any trauma that comes back to you?
Well, the thing that used to keep Jinku up at night doesn't haunt her anymore because she got rid of those memories. It's
Fair. Mm.
her family, and it's just that doesn't haunt her anymore. So
Now Jinku is only kept up by the thought of all of the kitties she hasn't saved.
there's so many. It's okay, we have kitty saving money now.
Retorta would be the vampire mind controlling him and then beating Bo to death.
Hmm.
That's some dark shit right there.
Would keep you awake, right?
Yeah.
All right. How about you, Zai?
I think for Zai, when she was living on the streets, she met another orphan that was a few years older than her and treated her like a younger sister, and it was the first person that she had let herself trust in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And one day she was woken up by screaming, and she saw that her, who had become her sister, she saw that she was being um, abducted by some men, and Zai tried to fight them to save her, but wasn't strong enough to do anything. And so she still blames herself for not being strong enough to protect, like, the one person in the world she actually gave a shit about.
All right. Dang. Well, on that happy note.
Well, you gave us a very sad question.
It
Right?
was.
You literally, what trauma keeps you up at night?
How traumatized are you,
How
fucks?
fucked up are you that you can't sleep at night?
Oh.
Jenkins just like, "Eee."
Hurdy-gurd. To
Oh.
be fair, she had trauma. She just got rid of it.
That's true.
If only it were always so easy.
Oh my god, right?
That'd be great.
I'd be an empty shell of a human being.
It's called ketamine. I can take care of any of you. Let me know.
All right. So, who wants to give us a rundown of what things you got up to last time?
Definitely not me.
Yeah, you were a little out there.
Well, we found the gold.
Mm-hmm.
I think we went, did some shopping. I can't remember. I don't think we ended up paying anybody off yet.
No, we were just trying to figure out how to get the money out of there.
Yeah, we're like kind of right before that point. So, yeah, you guys, were down in the vault, went through there, figured out some little puzzles. Got down there. There was that really old dwarf guy that was down there somehow, and kind of gave you guys all a vibe check to see if you were legit.
Or an X.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or an X. Excuse me. And yeah, passed his vibe check, and so he was fine with you, especially since you guys had Raynar with you. Having access to this cash that had been stored down here by his dad, and you guys, took some time trying to figure out how best to transport this or utilize it without having to, awkwardly come down to this vault in a graveyard whenever. And after some deliberation, the plan was that Boo was going to head up to Blackstaff Tower and have them create a ring, I believe it was, that was imbued, or staff.
Yeah, we were going to put it on my staff of power.
That's right, on your staff. That was imbued with, I believe it was planar. What was it?
Minor dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I
Am
thought we
still
were.
there?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
No, I meant at Blackstaff.
Oh.
Demiplane. That was the spell.
Yeah, that was a spell.
Yep.
I also needed to pick up a plane shift scroll or two.
So you were at Blackstaff. You were getting that. You paid the guy. He was currently in the middle of kind of crafting this thing up for you, and you're doing your shop and getting your other scrolls. The rest of you, Tordo, I believe, was still down hanging out with the dwarf guy and just kind of meditating with him down in the vault, keeping an eye on things. That's where you guys found out his actual name was Oranax.
He told me.
That's right. He told you that. That's right. And then the other three of you wanted to go and find Mert, since that's kind of his business. money lending is kind of his thing, and you're going to try to get some assistance from him for distributing the large sums of cash to the couple people that you owe from some deals that you made in the past. So there was a chunk for Zord, and there was the bigger chunk for the Castellanters to help with them, breaking this like contract that was going to steal their kids. And the rest was all of yours. But yeah, with all that stuff put together, I believe that the plan was, you would open this little pocket dimension. It makes like a 30-foot cube pocket dimension down there by the gold, and then you were gonna use Tensor's floating discs to scoot all of the gold into the pocket dimension. And then, since you have this pocket dimension thing, you can like open a door to that pocket dimension whenever you want, pretty much. And so you kind of just have like a pocket bank on Boo's staff that you can kind of walk into from anywhere. And yeah, that's where we were. And I think like where we left off specifically is like you guys had just like walked in to the Yawning Portal to find Mert. And yeah, I think that's
Any
right.
chance I could have purchased like a gate scroll or anything like that, or two, while I was there?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's reasonable that you could have been able to purchase some of those from Blackstaff. Let's see, gate scroll.
Level 9 conjuration.
Level 9. Okay. So it looks, just from like a quick cursory look up, it looks like those are like 2,000 gold a piece for a scroll of that. So I guess if you want to grab a couple of those into your inventory, or I think maybe I need to put those in the party sheet or something. Hold on.
I can add them.
Oh, does it let you? Okay, cool. Okay.
Well, maybe.
If not, I can...
No, but I can just add an entry that says scroll of gate, and that's fine.
Alright, I've got one right here. Okay, scroll. And how many of those?
One, and then a backup one.
2? Okay. Okay, those are in the party sheet. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, Mix and Zayara and Jinku, you guys have just strolled into the Yawning Portal. The usual hangout of Mert when he isn't hanging out at your guys' place. With his old pal. Oh, what, Jinku?
He might have a drinking problem.
Well, I mean, he's an old adventurer. He's been through some shit. Durnan's his buddy. He doesn't necessarily like sit there and like drink all night, but he hangs out with his friend.
Sure.
There, we had there's our little Durnan voice line.
Smooth promise.
Knew I had to trigger that since Durnan was involved. So yeah, you do head in there, you three, and you find Mert. He's up at the main bar, just kind of sitting there having a chat with Durnan. He's got like just kind of looks like a pint of some just regular ale that he's like half into.
I don't think they can call this ale at the Yawning Portal.
I mean, Yawning Portal's a pretty up and well-known establishment. This isn't like a...
I thought this was the one where it was...
No,
That's
that
the one where we like
Which one
first
did
had
he do?
her.
no, that's the it's something dragon. That's the one that's got like an anchor through the roof down in the dock ward and has like literal piss water. That's where Volo hangs out.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No, yeah, Yawning Portal's like
I
very,
got the old
very
grizzly
famous.
adventurers mixed up.
Yeah, Yawning Portal is a very well-known tourist destination in Waterdeep, as it is the kind of main. Well, there's many entrances into the Undermountain, but the Yawning Portal is kind of the well-known one to kind of get down in there and test your luck against the massive, massive underground complex that is down there. So, yeah, they got good shit here.
Not as good as Troll Skull, but
Of course, of course. But yeah, Mert, sees you three coming over, and he kind of lifts his hand in your direction, says, "Well, now, what brings you three down to the Yawning Portal this afternoon?"
well, we were actually wondering if we could hire you as somewhat of a consultant for some financial matters.
Hmm. You see Mert kind of nod a little bit and says, all right. Yes, I can certainly help you out with that. What, come across something big in your adventures, eh?"
I suppose you could say that.
All right. I understand. Perhaps we can take it to a more private room in here. Probably best not to be talking about these sorts of things amongst all the general patrons.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Okay. And, Mert kind of lifts his head and kind of does like a little upwards nod towards Durnan. And Durnan's like, "We got just the place." And he kind of comes out from behind the bar. And, there's like kind of a side door here on the first floor that kind of leads into a hallway. And there's a few kind of small rooms back here that look kind of like, sometimes they're used for more kind of private gatherings or, parties or whatever people like to do at a tourist destination type bar. But he opens the door to one of these, just kind of a smallish room. It's got a decently sized table with 7 or 8 chairs around it, and he says, "Well, this should do to keep you out of the eyes and ears. Just let me know when you're done." And he kind of heads back up to the bar, and Mert comes in through the door. He's got his cane and heads over to one of the chairs and takes a seat. And he begins kind of rummaging through his bag here, looking for a few. It looks like he brings out like a few notebooks and things, and kind of lays them out on the table here. Grabs some ink and some pens out, and says, "So, what sort of money services are you needing here? Coming to do some sort of sum you're not quite sure how to manage or something?"
I forget. Were we mainly looking for him in terms of moving the money, or
You guys were kind of, since you guys have figured out this whole thing with the dimensional pocket and the tensor's discs, you don't really need the moving so much anymore, since you guys can just kind of magically floating disc all the money into your pocket dimension and you have it anywhere. It was more if you needed someone to act as like a go-between to ensure that like the transferring of these large sums of money to the appropriate parties was like handled properly.
mm-hmm.
So the chunk to Zord, and then the chunk to the castle.
Escrow agent. We needed an escrow agent.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He basically kind of needed an escrow agent, in him, since he's kind of more familiar with this stuff. So it's kind of all like the proper paperwork or anything is done, and things are, you've counted out and noted properly, so there isn't any like funny business. To ensure that all the contracts involved are properly come to a close.
Yeah, we have recently come into a quite sizable cash, and we owe a couple of people a percentage for helping us find it, and we were hoping that you might be able to aid us in the transferring of those debts, just to make sure that everything is properly noted and taken care of, given that both of our aides are rather powerful and noteworthy individuals.
Understandable. So it's true then, you, like the searching you were doing, you found Daggle's lost gold? You guys have worked with him, but like he's been in and out all throughout this, helping you guys find information about stuff. So,
Yes, we managed to succeed in our quest for it.
and Mert's eyes kind of widen happily, and he says, "Well, I'm always glad to hear of a successful adventure. You'll have to tell me the whole tale some other time, but first we'll make sure that all of the hanging loose ends are cleared up, so you guys can get on with your adventuring life after your little windfall here. So, is there some place you would like to? Would you like me to accompany you to these transactions? Like, have you secured some way to move such an amount?"
We've figured out a system, yes.
All right. I won't pry into your particular ways, and happily come along with you wherever you need. And so, are you? So since you have the Castle Hunter stuff and you have Zord stuff, is there a particular person you're wanting to go to first to get to do out of those?
I would say probably Zord first.
Probably Zord. Okay. Sounds good. All right, and then Boo, like I said, there.
More so because I feel like he would have the potential to be insulted if we paid someone before him.
Yeah.
All right.
Whereas the Castle Lanterns would be like, hey, whatever, we're getting our money. That's fine.
And so Jinku has far more respect for Zord than for the Castle Lanterns.
Fair. He does have the hat.
You just like his hat.
No, I love his hat.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to assume the status of your relationship with the hat.
That's great. All right. So Mert agrees to accompany you along with whatever you need. So Boo, sounds like you head back down there with Torta and kind of start working on this process of scooting things in. it doesn't take too long with the tensor's floating disk method that you would come up with. If I remember correctly, I believe it was only going to take like 8 with the amount. So it's more of a matter of, summoning the disk, bunch of gold, float into the dimension, and like doing that 8 times, which isn't too much. So you're able to kind of get things loaded in there without too much trouble. So afterwards, would you guys probably kind of all get back together at Patrol Skull before you go off first, or?
Once it's loaded into the dimension,
Mm-hmm.
I'll take one of the scrolls out of my pocket, and you open it up, and I will speak the name of Mix's mother and try to cast Gate.
Okay. And let me see. I'm not actually familiar with what exactly Gate does. Okay, so it just makes a portal to some other place. Okay. So where are you linking this to?
So you can speak the name of a specific creature,
Uh-huh.
and if that creature is on a plane other than your own, portal should open nearby.
Okay. All right.
Well,
So
we
yeah,
never established her name, but I'll speak her name.
I feel like that's it's written.
Mix might have. I never.
Yeah, I think Mix has it somewhere. She was some like
It was
deity.
mentioned a long, long
She
time
was
ago.
Zyara's deity.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Well, that's cool. All right. Yeah, let me see if I can find it real quick. If he has it in his. No, it doesn't seem to mention it there. Well, if he pops up, we can always
I
ask him.
can find it quick.
That works. Okay, but yeah, she does exist and is on another plane. So yeah, you open a gate to. I'm sure we'll find out momentarily once.
Lyra.
Lyra, how's that spelled?
Leira.
Oh, duh, it's Mix's last name. Derp. Let's see. She would be. She would be on the plane of Limbo, which was an outer plane in the cosmology model.
Cool.
Interesting. Okay, well, so you have gate to Limbo now, Boo. I guess. Where are you going with that?
I'll turn towards Torta, and I'll say, "Well, buddy, are you in or you out? We got some business to handle."
Always got your back.
So I'll go through, and I will call her name and open the door to this dimension cube that I have. And I will say, "Lyra, I have spent my entire life bound to protect your spawn with no free will of my own, and I have brought more riches than any 10 people can be expected to acquire in a single lifetime. And I ask that you choose to accept these and free me, or you end me."
All right.
Things Moog was not expecting to have to do this
In-
session.
Interesting. Okay. And like, are you trying to do?
I'm trying to either buy freedom or have her kill me.
Okay.
I would rather be dead.
Okay. And you're trying? Are you trying to do this with like the entire
Oh yeah.
sum, irregardless of?
Yeah, I've always been clear that I'm definitely in it for myself. This is one of those situations.
Okay. Interesting turn of events. Let's see. Hold
Wait,
on
the sum minus or in addition to the stuff we owe people?
Oh, I packed it all.
here.
God damn it.
Damn it.
Oh boy. Okay. Hold on here. Let me take a look at some things.
And I don't even have any sway because I don't remember my pack.
Let's see. Well, currently it's just Boo and Torta that are there.
Yeah, I know.
Our fault. You know, we know better than to leave him alone.
Alright, what is her...
My camera was off, but yes, I was nodding enthusiastic.
Okay. I'm looking up some stuff about Lyra real quick, and,
She's a goddess of illusion and trickery.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
Which, you know, no wonder Mix is so fucked up.
Right? Talk about trauma.
Jeez, right? Okay. Okay. I think I have an interesting way to go about this. Alright. So you go through this portal and find yourself in the plane of Limbo, which is a pretty interesting place. It's kind of a plane of chaos, and it's kind of it's almost like a float, like a void filled with floating stuff, you know, like just kind of big floating rocks, trees, and, you know, so in some places in here there are structures built on some of these, you know, larger floating pieces, but it's kind of it's kind of a wild place, kind of on the edge of on the edge of the planar setup that the universe has got in this particular setup. You call out to Lyra, and, you know, for a moment, like, there's just silence and the kind of swirling sounds of just kind of empty wind in the void. But you kind of hear a sound behind you, Boom, and you see a woman kind of stepping out of, like, almost kind of stepping out of a shadow. It's almost like there was like a fissure cut into the air, and she steps out of it, in front of you, here.
Moog, 1 second.
Yeah.
I DM'd you.
Okay. 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 All right. So she. Hold on. Let me take that into account here. Hold on. Let me see if there's a. Hold on. Let me see if there's like a good picture of her in here. Damn. There's not. That's a bummer. Okay. So this woman that steps out, she's she's very tall and has this kind of elegant grace to her. Her like skin is this pale, like nearly white color of skin, kind of grayish white, and she has this long flowing white hair as well, kind of spills down around her face, with these kind of piercing dark eyes, and she kind of regards you, Boo, with both kind of a mixture of you sense like a little bit of like surprise almost at you finding yourself here, and a little bit of bemusement too, I would say. And she speaks, the riches of the mortal planes don't really have much use for me here, you understand. But surely there may be something else that you could offer in trade that could be more interesting.
This is not a trade. I am not a willing party. And what do you desire to take from me? I don't have free will. What else do you want?
You can feel her. You can almost kind of feel her eyes like looking through you, Boo. It's like she seems to be like searching to see if there is some like anything that she can find in your soul, or some sort of connection that she would be interested in. And after a moment she says, "You have a companion who used to be one of mine, but something cut her off. I can't say that I was able to see from here what happened, but these days, well, my followers are few and far between these days, and if you could bring her back to me, I would be willing to release the ties that bind you."
Just to be clear, so we're on the same page, you want me to help you trade someone else's free will for my own?
not their free will, their devotion, I guess would be the word. I mean, she had it before and lost it somehow. I wish to reestablish our relationship that was severed.
I bet you would, wouldn't you?
I mean, do not misunderstand. I do not intend to take her life or keep her here. I merely wish to have her returned as a devotee, as a worshipper, as she was once before. I sense you have some connection to her.
You're a god. Don't you have the power to figure this out? I'm showing no respect. Like, at all. Like, purposely. I've probably spit into the limbo a few times.
Wouldn't it just get stuck in your mask?
Probably. But, like, I'm intelligent. I'm not wise.
Fair.
There's a big difference between those two things.
Very true. So she says, I was a god once, but our powers wane with the dwindling worship of our followers. And, well, Limbo is a bit far away from the mortal realms that you call home. There is only so much I can really see or hear.
Fine. The agreement is the moment I get this lost slave back to you, then I am free.
Yes.
You gonna send me back there or what? Do you not have the power? I've got the power, but I just want to know if you have the power.
Let me see here.
I'm trying to gloat and see whether or not I have more power than this being that I now see as inferior to me.
Yeah, I would say that she would. Yeah, she would have the power to do something like that. So she, although I feel like does like when you cast Gate, does that stay open for a bit, or does that just poof?
Oh, Boo would have closed that. It does stay open, but Boo
Hmm.
would have closed it immediately.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't trust that dwarf.
Okay.
He
Okay.
trusts Torta and himself, and that's it.
Okay. All right. So you again kind of feel her like kind of almost looking through you, Boo, and you kind of feel this a little bit too, toward him. And both of you like blink, just like you normally would, and you suddenly find yourself in the middle of a street in Waterdeep, it seems, and like almost immediately after you like kind of appear in this street, Jinka, you run right into Torta. Like they just like right in front of you.
Of course.
I hope she don't fall down. I'm a kind of a brick wall.
As am I.
So you're kind of dusting yourself off here, having appeared out of thin air in front of your other three compatriots who were heading, somewhere after the yawning portal there.
Oh, hey guys. We got the gold secured in the pocket dimension, as discussed. Where are you all off to?
Jinku is just like so confused as to why they're suddenly in the street.
Don't. Do I always have to explain everything to you? It's wizard business. Don't worry about it.
I worry anytime you are associated with anything.
Well, there's your problem. You need to calm down.
I am calm. I'm just concerned.
No need for concern. But speaking of concerns, Iara, I spoke with a concerned party regarding you recently. I don't know if you'd
I
quite
wouldn't trust
call it.
rumors.
You know, it really
They
wasn't a
don't know what
rumor.
they're talking about.
I don't really want to consider it like a divine message, but for the past several weeks, in my dreams, I have been dreaming of this woman who seems
That
lost.
seems unlikely.
She says your name over and over, Zyara.
I thought your dreams recently have been about the vault.
Roll for bullshit.
We have lots of dreams. Don't worry about what all dreams I have, unless you've been reading my dream journal, and obviously you're still coherent, so you have not. I spend many hours a day sleeping, and I have many dreams. At least 12. And the reason I bring this up is you remember that, well, I mean, some people might not have considered it a fun little circus, but I considered it a fun little circus we went to. We all had to give something up to get
I
out.
tried very hard to forget about that night.
Oh, it's one I wrote about immediately when I got home. Some of the things that were done to mix there. Oh, boy. Ah. Anyway, I'll wipe my forehead because now I'm all sweaty. But I will say, I think the thing you gave up is related to.
And
Well, somebody's looking for you, calling your name, needing you.
there are a lot of people looking for me, most of which I would rather not ever find me.
Boo will kind of seem a little exasperated, and he will say, "The dumb bitch's name is Lyara. Does that ring a bell for you?"
No, not really.
I mean, understandable. She forgot her god.
Well, it should at least ring a bell for you. It's that dumbass's last name, his mom.
Why do you think Mix would have ever told me his last name? I don't even know his full name.
Because he
Mick
never
was his
stops
full name?
fucking talking. Because he just talks and talks and talks about
Exactly.
everything.
I don't listen to him.
Maybe you should sometime. I'm not gonna say he's
Oh,
smart, but like, there's some
that's rich
amusing
coming from
comments that
you.
come out of it.
Something is wrong if Boo is telling us to listen to Mix.
Why do you care?
Well, honestly, I'd rather be dreaming of Mix than someone seeking for you.
Zaira, nudges Jinko, and she was like, I told you, you owe me 5 pocket peanuts.
I'll hand them over.
I mean, I can tell you, you know, some random woman in my dreams is quite disturbing. Especially when she's calling after you. I really don't want anything to do with this.
I
Seems
don't
like
know what I'm supposed to do about it. It seems like it's your problem.
Wouldn't you just talk to her? Sounds like a simple conversation. That's really all she said.
I'd probably arrange a meeting, I think. She told me how to do it in my dreams.
I don't know, it seems like a waste of time. Why would I want to talk to Mix's mother?
You know, I honestly couldn't really tell you.
Have you met Mix? Why would I want to?
To find out why she didn't kill him at birth? That's a good question.
One I ask myself every day. So what were you guys doing anyway in this street? When we saw you and walked up to you?
Didn't you just come back where you left?
Yeah, like I said, I saw you, we walked up, wondering what you
We
guys were
were
up to. You were
we
heading to
were
the
waiting
portal?
for you to come back from the portal.
Oh, I've never been to the portal in months. The yawning portal. Oh, I see. You're confusing.
So Jinku feels like Boo is lying even more than normal.
Okay.
What
Yeah, that's
should I
a
roll?
mutual feeling.
All right. I'd say yeah, both of Jinku's if you guys want to roll like an insight check, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, come on, 20. Son of a bitch!
Oof. Okay. Uh. I mean, like you said, both of you definitely feel like there's something more.
I could test that with persuasion, though.
Sure. Go ahead.
Oh, damn it. I'm so dumb. I'm gonna fall for this. Fail it, fail it, fail it, fail it.
You bear with me.
Damn it.
All right. Um. Given that, I would say probably so. The two of you probably feel like there's like something seems off. You're not sure what. Um. But Boo isn't usually this interested in other, in your guys' things that you're doing.
Anybody but himself?
Yeah, which seems a little odd. But otherwise, that's probably the extent of it, I guess, is that you're like, this is a little abnormal.
Oh my. Oh shit, is Mert still with us?
Uh,
I always forget about Mert.
I don't think Mert would be with you like right at this very moment, because you guys were still figuring out like this, like getting the money able to be accessed. But he is available for you when you call.
Okay. I just didn't want to be rude to Mert if he was here.
No, instead he's just being utterly confusing.
Story of my life.
So we're going to pay our debts, right? That's what we're looking to do.
Well,
Yeah.
that was the point of you accessing your dimension, wasn't it?
That's right. I forget.
We're already done with that.
Yeah, we got it all right here, ready to go. I'll pat the ring on my finger.
So, I'm curious through all of this, like, Turner, what are your thoughts right now? Because, I mean, you were there for this business with Boo in Limbo for the short time he was there. What's Torta thinking in all of this?
Torta already kind of knows Boo's thoughts. I mean, they spend the 12 hours that they're awake pretty much running around.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out why, in my mind, she seems so standoffish against meeting somebody that she doesn't know or remember.
Okay.
Like, she seems very upset for no reason, so I'm kind of concerned that my friend's upset.
Okay. 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 All right. Okay, so it was we were wanting to go to Zord first with the cash. So if we're heading that way, I mean, I would say with Mert, with his area of business, he probably gave you like a sending stone or something to get in touch with him real quick for when you need him to come. And so if you guys are heading over to the docks to meet with Zord, you could certainly, give him a ring and tell him to be on the way, since business is going to be transacted.
Yeah, I'll pull out my message stone that I have and I'll talk into it. And I'll say, Mert, we're on our way. And at the same time, I'll smack Torta to try and cover up the fact that his message stone is talking.
Nice.
So where were we meeting, Mert? You guys set this deal up. We're doing it back at the tavern, or I suppose we should probably do big deals like that in our neck of the woods.
Definitely not on the docks.
I mean, didn't we have like
Oh, Mert gave us a
Stop.
building to go to. Didn't he say, come meet me here? Oh, that was during the original conversation that I wasn't there for. Never mind.
Yeah, so like Mert will come wherever you guys want to go. So like if you want to do this at Troll Skull, I mean, you could go, get in contact with Sword and say, hey, we got the goods. Come to our place and we'll hand it off.
Didn't we set up a whole like room in the tavern that was just for like gambling? Or was that a joke that people made?
I don't think there was ever a specific I mean, like you guys have there's like the upstairs floors of Troll Skull that are basically your guys' house and kind of there's like kind of a central area there that you guys have kind of used before for that, since it's kind of up away from everything else. Like down in the tavern itself, like the main tavern floor is mainly just like the kitchen, and then the rest of it is like your typical tavern, and then there's the basement that's under, like behind the bar, which is kind of Mix's place with all this various alchemical business that he's up to. But no, there wasn't like a specific gambling place. But yeah, if you wanted like a private place to meet, it would probably be kind of the central table upstairs, kind of like the main living room ish area of your guys' house.
So while we're walking back, we'll again say, so where was it you learned how to do magic anyways? I myself had to be self-taught. I'm not like Mix, where I was able to just, you know, get power from the ability to suckle my mother's breast when I was created. Unfortunately, I was.
I learned how to do magic originally from one of the other maids in a noble house I served in, and then continued to learn it when I was living on the streets.
Interesting. Interesting. I've noticed you don't carry a book around.
Well, no, I wouldn't. I'm not a sorcerer or a wizard.
Well, there's a fine distinction between a sorcerer and a wizard. You see, a sorcerer, they're given abilities at birth due to whatever freakish circumstances created them. You see, a wizard, however, does carry a spell. We are learned scholars. Note spells we've known. If you're not a wizard or a sorcerer, what are you?
How long have you traveled with me?
Well, a while.
And you don't even know what a
No, to be honest,
large purpose?
I thought you were a cleric for the longest time, but I haven't seen you perform any devotions. So I ruled that out.
Not all
Obviously,
clerics
looking at
need
you,
a
you're,
deity to bend to.
well, it's quite rare to find one that has such self-confidence that they are able to summon powers that are usually granted by gods. But yes, you're true. They still do have to perform some sort of weird self-devotion, I've heard. I think they call it. I was told once. They say the prayer of the narcissist, and that is how they get their power from them.
With that kind of description, I would say that you were a cleric.
That would be an assumption someone might make, I suppose, upon initially meeting me, but once you see the intelligence I have, it's easy to know that I would come to the conclusion that the gods aren't worth worshipping.
And if the gods aren't worth worshipping, then why are you so insistent that I talk with one?
What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm sure.
I myself, well, I haven't talked to a god in quite a while. The last time I did, she cursed me to a wretched existence, and it aligned my faith in those that think they're above us.
Well, I suppose we can agree on that matter. Neither of us are too fond of people that think they're above everyone else.
Oh, is she talking about? Is she calling the lady that we just talked to a god? It was just a nice lady that stood to. Like, she didn't even really look at me. She just kind of talked to you.
Oh man.
Her pale skin, like, I'm a grung, but if I was gonna be interested, she would probably be the lady.
Holy moly.
So, Moog, is this how you thought you saw the session going tonight?
This is great.
Eyes around every corner.
We're definitely gonna have another session after this one though. But this is great. Which is probably good since Paz isn't here. And I would hate to have him miss what I've got set up for that part. Well, that was a bit of a bombshell drop there, Torta.
We make it to Troll Skull yet?
Yeah, probably. I'd say that would probably be an interesting spot to make it to Troll Skull. With this conversation and this, Torta just kind of out of the blue being, saying what he said there. Yeah. You make it to Troll Skull. Like you're walking up to Troll Skull just as Torta's like, oh, you mean, the lady we just watched that had just met that had nice skin. And you guys are heading upstairs with that kind of hanging awkwardly in the air.
What do you mean, the god you just talked to?
I said lady that we just talked to. I don't know any gods.
Okay, what do you mean the lady you just talked to?
I don't know. It was some nice pale lady that just showed up in front of us.
Zyra kind of just glares at Boo.
Alright, it's time I be completely honest with you.
That'll be the day.
For the record, bite my shiny metal ass. I've never lied to the party before. So Boo will say, look, okay, I was not telling the whole truth. Yes, I've been dreaming of this woman, but I do know who she is. It's that demon spawn down there's mother, who you used to be connected to in some way, shape, or form. And she won't leave me alone till I convince you to work with her again for some reason that she won't tell me. Fuck, that was a long walk. You want a drink, Torta?
Many.
Oh.
I will course, all drinks.
All right. Got a round going. Kind of. You're all kind of sitting and or standing around the kind of central table in the middle of Troll Skull. Kind of all sipping at your. Well, maybe not all of you are sipping, but there's a strange, just heaviness in the air, almost of almost like a tension of sorts. Like you're all kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop with this explanation as to what exactly is going on here.
I don't understand why she would want me back if what you say is true, which I have my doubts. And even so, why care you?
Well, I've been adventuring with you for quite a while now. And unlike Mix, I kind of like you. So I figure if this otherworldly being, perhaps a goddess, claims to be a goddess, wanted something with you, I figured I would let you know. She didn't really seem evil. I think I'd know my own.
I wouldn't. She was lovely.
With how the tokens are on the map, I'm just imagining that Mix is just staring weirdly into the corner, not saying anything.
So typical Mix.
Yep.
As more of a dick, I'd glyph of warding him into the corner.
Oh man. So with so with regarding this, the like your god things there. Okay. So when I'm trying to think of how to word this here. Okay, so like out you know out of character. So I mean you were a cleric of Lyra for a while, and like that was fine, right? Like there wasn't really any issue there, was there? Like you were fine with Lyra being your deity, that kind of thing.
She liked Lyra, but she was a little weirded out about meeting Mix because of it.
Okay. Fair. All right.
Especially because Mix is Mix.
Understandable. Okay. So when 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 you guys were in that wagon with interdimensional properties, I mean, like with the Chimera guy that was trading memories, like they're. I mean, it was up to you. You know, the memories that you decided to give up to him. So I
Mhm.
guess why did you choose what you did?
Um, in a lot of ways, she chose what she did because she didn't really feel like Lyra was with her anymore and felt that she could gain more power by searching elsewhere.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So, I mean, since that happened, you know, you wouldn't, and you wouldn't really know what it is you didn't have since you forgot. Um, but I guess, do you feel like you have gotten where you wanted to be without that? Like, thinking out of character, aware that you do not know that like that anymore. But like, does that make sense?
Like, as a player, do I feel like the character has found more power not being with a deity?
Yeah, I guess. Because like I guess what I'm trying to figure out here is like, since that happened, like, is there any sort of feeling of like something missing that you've like been aware of? Um, you know, just with working with your
I
magic.
mean, she has probably, I would say that she probably feels more freedom in working with magic and how she can use her magic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she uses like bigger spells, maybe slightly darker spells,
Mm-hmm.
but on the opposite hand, she has also felt like uh almost like her magic is like,
Less juice.
it feels like ice where like she can hold it, but it slowly slips through her fingers the longer she works with it.
Okay, I like that description. Okay. Okay. So, given that, like, I mean, so Boo here is telling you that you had some sort of relationship with this Lyra before, and that you know you seem to be a cleric, and typically clerics have some sort of deity associated with them. I mean, and in character, you don't remember this, but I guess, does that like pull at anything at all? Like,
I mean,
there's nothing
probably
there, but
making her like, it's probably making her like doubt herself a little bit because like since that night, like
mm-hmm,
she knows that she can use magic and she knows that she's a cleric,
mm-hmm.
but she doesn't remember why she became a cleric
Yeah.
or how she's like continued to learn spells. Like she assumes that she's just taught herself because that's how she's learned anything, but it's all very foggy to her, and so she kind of is questioning her own like memory and intuition right now.
Okay. So it's kind of like you it's kind of almost like you for like you don't remember how you got where you are in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, like you were, doing something and like, clearly you're good at it and learned to some extent. But you just like since that deity part is gone, and that's kind of, especially for clerics, that's kind of like an important aspect of what they do. Usually, it's almost like you forgot. Like you can still ride the bike, but for some reason you can't remember anything about ever learning about riding a bike. Like all of those memories of falling over on training wheels and whatever else are just gone. You just somehow the bike is there, but you feel like there's something you can't quite put your finger on, I guess would be a way to think about it.
Yeah, I mean more or less. Like
Okay.
she like just hasn't bothered to think about it too hard since that night. So she hasn't had to really realize that she doesn't quite remember how any of this happened until right now when Boo's questioning her.
Okay. So it's kind of like you're aware of this weird hole, but you just kind of ignored it and forgotten. Well,
Yeah, like she's been in a
and
state
and
of
now you're being
cognitive
made to like,
dissonance about it.
and now Boo's like, look at the fucking hole, you idiot.
Yeah.
Why haven't you noticed this? Okay. Okay. So, okay. I wanted to inquire a bit about that. So, okay, given all of that, we are awkwardly sipping alcohol, and Boo, I believe you're about to spill some beans. Or at least be wholly truthful. According to yourself.
I was muted. So yeah, I explained how we were. Yes, I have been dreaming about this woman, but also, she did appear to us when shortly after we loaded everything into the pocket dimension. We saw her and we talked with her and determined that she desires to bring you back into her flock, as it were. I've worded that very particularly. I'm telling all true words.
Alright.
It is a truth. Perhaps not the whole truth, but it is a truth.
So help him, God.
Counts for something, I guess.
There it is. It didn't work. I tried it. I tried this magnetic polish. I got it to work on like 3 out of 10 fingers.
Ah.
You fucked it up somehow.
And so, what your desire is that I speak with her just so she will leave you alone?
Pretty much. I mean, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And, I mean, you know that weird problem that Mix has where he comes to my door and listens and
I
does.
don't want to know about what you and Mix do in the dark
Oh.
at night.
Trust me, look at my door. You see that glyph there? That will kill Mix if he comes into my room. I want nothing to do with it. But anyway, like he keeps me up enough. And then I've got these dreams happening. I just want sleep. And she said she'd leave me alone and let me be free if I would just get you talk to her about joining her flock again.
Quality wordsmithing.
It is literally what I do for a living, girl.
Oh.
And to be honest, I'm going to be very honest here. You'd probably smack me if you were in person. You're a cleric? I thought you were a warlock this entire campaign. Like,
No, that's Mix.
I think Bix was, but yeah, okay.
No.
Yep, trickery, cleric.
Zyara looks at Torta again and is like, and you said she seems trustworthy?
She seems beautiful and trustworthy. She didn't really talk to me though. She just kind of gave me these eyes, and I was like, "Oh, my heart beat."
Oh my god. That was great. That was great.
I love how much Torta is simping for her.
Oh, beautiful.
Look, you'll probably catch the same feelings that I do. Like,
Ew.
If I felt
I
that way
mean,
about biologicals, I would feel that way too.
I mean, Zyara is technically gay, so there is a chance.
I thought this was a real conversion, not a setting people up on a date.
Why serve a god when you can?
Serve a god?
service.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Zyara will just like shake her head and sigh and be like, "Fine, boo. I'll talk to this god if that will make you happy for once."
For the record, I have referred to this being, divine or not, as a person or a thing, but I acknowledge no being God.
Of course.
Might be the god of love. Can you feel my heart?
Well, while you guys have all been talking here, I grabbed a picture and uploaded it into Fantasy Grounds here. Here we go. Here's Lyra.
A red question mark?
Oh, just your type, Torta.
Oh, there you go. It finally loaded for me.
Oh, I see why Boo is behaving, or Porter is behaving the way he did. Shit, she might have awakened something in Boo. I don't know. Maybe he's not Ace.
That's all off, actually.
Okay, so you said, yeah, you want to speak with her.
I said I will speak with her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same things. The same thing. As far as the mechanics are concerned here. uh, person, Lyara, Lyra, 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 Lyra.
You hear
Mom, mom, mommy.
you, you,
Exactly what I was thinking.
Where are we going with that?
you you kind of hear the whispers in your mind, Boo, kind of reaching out across the plains to you of kind of just a kind of soft reply of yes.
Your person is willing to speak with you again.
All right, and in kind of a blink of an eye, uh, all of you here find yourself kind of somewhere else. You are all kind of standing on this, fairly large piece of land that seems to be floating, given everything else around here that looks to be floating. Um, the particular one that you're standing on here, like it almost seems to have some sort of ancient structure of sorts on it. Clearly has seen the weathering of time or whatever in this place. It could be a lot of things weathering it, given how much stuff's flying around. Um, but not too far away from you, you see kind of a carved stone seat that's kind of up on this kind of raised area among a couple of kind of partially broken arches nearby. And you see Lyra kind of sitting over there, kind of observing all of you. And she kind of raises her hand and kind of beckons for you all to come over to her direction.
As we're walking, you see like the pouch under toward his neck open up, and it's like this peacock colors, and he's not breathing.
Oh man.
Jinku will give him a little encouraging punch on the arm.
Oh, it doesn't affect. It's still he's peacocking hard.
Boo sees this and takes the time, cast prestidigitation enough to kind of clean him up and help
God.
him smell better or whatever. Boo doesn't give a shit about how he presents, but he can tell Torta's kind of peacocking, so he helps his little buddy.
Oh my god.
Being a wingman.
Oh boy. So I guess for you, Zayar, being here, like, it feels like it almost it's that feeling of like something really that you feel that was really important. That's like that feeling when it's like on like the tip of your tongue. Um, you're kind of getting that sense here, standing before this kind of pale woman. Like you're like you feel like a little drawn in a way that you can't quite remember why. And stuff over. Hold on. Oops. Come on, buddy. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So you, yeah, she almost has like kind of a smile as she's kind of looking at you, Zai. And she says, surely you remember. And she almost kind of like outstretches her kind of arms in your direction, Zaira.
I don't remember any events. I don't remember meeting you. Even if Boo says that I have.
And she almost kind of nods solemnly, and she says, "Ah, so you have forgotten. That's what it was." And you hear her kind of like mutter some sort of phrase in a language you do not recognize, and she, like, almost in an instant, you see, like, she takes a step, like she's still like a little ways away from you, but she like takes a step forward, and it's almost like she steps into like like a slice in the air, and then immediately comes out of like another slice in the air in front of you, Zayara. And her finger like boop, like boops you right in the forehead.
What was that again?
Boop.
Oh, thanks. I missed it the first time.
And you almost kind of you almost fall over, like you manage to catch yourself, but like you're almost hit with this like massive wave of some sort of force, like maybe psionic or something. You're not entirely really sure. But like all of, like you can almost like feel this like empty space that you've been ignoring, since you can't quite figure out what it was, in your head, just like come like rushing back in with all of these like memories of devotions that you'd done, and like learning and whatever. Like it all kind of comes flooding back all at once, and you kind of pull yourself back up to to on your 2 feet, and you well, you recognize her now.
Uh, Once Zyara recognizes her, she's just gonna get like a wide look in her eyes and gasp and like quickly bow her head and not really know what to say.
Okay. When you do that, you can see this kind of smile cross her face, and like her other hand, like she kind of just lifts it up slightly and kind of snaps her fingers in Boo's direction. And like you, Boo, you don't really you're not quite sure entirely how to describe it because it's never been like a physical shackle, I guess, of sorts. I guess you could call it. But whatever sort of ethereal shackle, I guess, was on you, you kind of feel this weight lifted.
Being a wizard, I've always envisioned it to be the arcane equivalent of a popcorn kernel in my tooth for my entire life.
I like it. All right.
Like hell.
Man, that would be real satisfying. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We can go with that. Like you're suddenly acutely aware of this, this irksome little corner that has been like bothering you your entire life. Like just suddenly fades away.
At this point, Tord has seen two of his friends get touched by this lady. And he's like hopping with anticipation, still not breathing. So he's almost turning purple instead of the golden red that he normally is. Still peacocked. And he's just looking at her like hopping back and forth one foot to the other.
Oh, man.
He's definitely too afraid to speak.
All right. So, Lyra, like, she's still kind of standing in front of you here, there, and, you're kind of remembering all of this past that had been kind of whisked away from you before, and, she, kind of through her smile, you just kind of hear her say, "Welcome back." And then almost as an aside to you, Zara, you see her kind of glance over at Torta, who's just doing his thing over here. Off to the side. And she says, "Is your friend wouldn't happen to have any interest in cleric business, would he?"
I don't think you would ever want to be a cleric, but honestly, you might have to fight Boo for his devotion if you tried.
I don't know. Give him a boop and find out.
Give him a poop and find out. Let's see.
At this point, Torta just passes out because he's not breathed in like 10 minutes.
Jinku checks his pulse. He's got one. He's fine.
All right. Let's see. I think let me look up something real quick. I think I got something that might be interesting here for Tortum.
Like, as he's passing out, you just hear him say, "She looked at me." And he crumbles over.
Jinku's embarrassed for him.
Grungs don't know love. It's all law, and he's got rid of that. So this is a brand new feeling.
Okay, let me see if this is in. Let me see if I can find this in here in Fantasy Grounds. Let's see here.
Hey, sorry to ask. Is there any chance we might be able to take our break? My dog needs walked, and I don't like sitting out after dark.
Yes. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I guess since I'm in the middle of looking this up, let's go ahead and do that right now, so you can take your dog out, do what you got to do. And I'll take a look at some things while we're going here. But yeah, let's come back at 9:08, 9:10, whatever, right around there. And so we'll take our break now. I know it's a little bit past when we usually would. So let's do that, get that out of the way, and I will look up some stuff in the meantime. So we'll be right back.
I'll pull the other scroll of gate out, and what's that dude's dad's name?
Oh, Raynar's dad?
Apple?
Yep.
Yeah, Daggold never remember.
I intend to have a conversation with Daggalt about how he treated his mistress, and from there, what I do is my business, and maybe Torto's business, and the rest of you are free to do what you will.
Alrighty then.
I'm sorry to throw you a wrench as a player to the end, but
Whew.
you're welcome to come with me, I guess.
Michael Bush.
Even mixed. At this point, I can kill you if you get out of line, Nick.
Well, I appreciate the invitation, but someone needs to look after Troll Skull and the 3 kids. And I suspect Jinku will want to make sure her cats are all okay. So I at least will have to decline your adventure.
We can totally understand that. He will nod. And then he'll say the guy's name and attempt to open a gate to him.
Okay.
I don't need to describe what he would do after that.
Let me see here.
Torto will bring out the frog arms of doom as we get ready to go through the gate.
What are you doing? Oh, I suppose JR did say probably the one thing that would make Boo feel kind of bad. So he does give a little more than his portion. Like he give, make sure he's not. He would have probably robbed everybody if he could have, but at this point, like he kind of grew a little tiny heart, so he doesn't try to, and he gives him a little extra and says, "Make sure you take care of the kids." I don't know what to do here.
I am looking up some things. Let's see here.
Were we gating from Limbo, or were we back in Troll Skull?
And you guys at this particular moment, you guys are currently in limbo. I'm here thinking something.
Yeah, I never would have tried to return to Waterdeep. But that noise.
Okay, so last. Oh, okay, so the portal lasts for a minute. Okay, all right.
Now that I'm done, I can change it.
Okay. 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 I have some ideas here. Okay.
Give it to us, Daddy.
All right. So, boom. So you open this gate, and call out Daggle's name, and go through. And so, like the other, and you said, Shorty, you said you were going with him. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Dora and Boo have been discussing this for months.
All right. So you step. You two go through the gate. Pop out on the other side of this, and you find yourselves in. Excuse me. It seems to be underground. Like all around you, the walls are kind of this pretty aged looking stone. And it kind of stretches off down a hallway. Um, and it's pretty dark too. I mean, like Torty, you can see because you got your monk business. But like this hallway, it's fairly over. It almost seems a little overgrown, in some ways. Like the walls are this kind of like crumbling stone and dirt, and there's kind of like roots coming through parts of the ceiling, and yeah, the hallway kind of extends a ways in front of you and seems to like go around a corner from where you guys popped out of this portal.
Boo curses as he realizes he doesn't have any way to make. Oh, he can make a small candlelight with prestidigitation, but that's it.
Yeah, that works. So
I hand you my torch.
I've never had to use one of these.
I hand him the tinderbox also.
Tortoise got special eyes.
I'm like confused. I have no idea how to work a tinderbox, and I end up just like using prestidigitation to light the torch, and I kind of confusedly like hand it back as if it's like part of the ritual, and I say thank you for the light.
All right. So do you guys like head down this hallway that you're in?
Yeah, immediately. Like, yeah, I've got this. We're businessmen, and there's some particular business we're looking to take care of.
All right. So you guys head down the hall a ways and like turn around the corner, and like again like the hallway seems to like continue on. Like you're trying to like piece together like where exactly this is that you are. Wow, really, buddy? Meow. And like as you like it almost seems like this is some sort of like ruin of you're not sure if this is like the basement of some building, or perhaps like some catacombs of some kind. Like you're not entirely certain, just that it seems to have been here for a while. But you come around the corner and you begin kind of heading down the hall, and Torta, like, you're able to see a little bit better with your special eyes, and you see what looks like a kind of a faint red glow, um, kind of coming out from, there's like a door in like the side of the hallway up ahead, and you can see kind of like from under the door and like kind of along the edges. Clearly this door has been there a while, so it's not like a perfectly weather sealed all the way around it. But there's this kind of like faint red glow that you see kind of coming out around this door, Torta.
We'll point that out and move to the door.
Hey, Pumpkin. Alright. So, press open me out. Yeah, exactly. So you head up to the door. It does not appear to be locked. Like you kind of pull at the handle and it begins swinging outwards.
He will put his ring up so that he's now inside of the bubble, and tell Boo to move a little closer as they go through the door.
Cast mage armor before we do that.
Mage armor? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Hold on. I have a map. Whoa, does this have like... This has some kind of cool looking like lighting effects on it or something. That's neat. I don't know if you can see them.
Yes.
Yep,
That's neat.
it's like candlelight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I don't know how that's cool. I've never seen that in one of these before. All right, so yeah, you guys are standing outside this door here that this glow is coming from, and you open the door. Let me unlock the tokens so you guys can move around. Here you guys go. Should be able to move. Hold on.
Yep, we're good. I got my spin back.
Got spin back. All right, that's the important part. All right, so you open the door, and beyond, like, there's kind of a small, almost like entryway of sorts on excuse me, on the other side of the door here. And beyond, you see a decently large room ahead. It's got these like 30-foot high vaulted ceilings, kind of held up by a series of pillars that kind of go down the middle. There's these flickering candles on iron candlesticks that kind of form a pathway towards what looks to be some other kind of room to the west, which seems to be kind of the main, like where this like red glow that's kind of going across the room that you guys saw kind of coming out from under the door, coming from and mixing with like the candlelight.
Twitter's gonna tell Boo to stay close since they've got the bubble up and walk towards the end of the hallway.
Okay. Oh, other way. You guys are going going to the west. You guys
Yeah, I
can't. You guys.
see.
Oh, you can't see. Here, let me move you. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, there you guys are. Yeah, you guys were. Your portal was kind of down and to the east and down. And you guys went up into the west. Okay, so yeah, so there's this there's kind of like the room kind of it's vaulted in here where you are. There's kind of these side areas off to the north and to the south of you guys, and beyond where this vaulted ceiling is going on, the room narrows to the west and goes to this other room where with this red glow, you see what looks like a statue of some kind, um, almost kind of like mounted up on almost kind of mounted on the wall, in here. You can't quite make out details from the distance where you guys are right now, and the light's not the best. But yeah, there's it looks like a statue of some person there. Looks like.
Got any ideas, man?
Well, I don't know. Let's go see what this statue is. Daggold has to be somewhere close.
I have to take your word for it. Yeah, we'll just move in sync towards to where we can see whatever statue that is.
Okay. All right. So you guys kind of get into this room, which is there's two more of these pillars and that are kind of holding up this small this room's also vaulted ceilings, not quite as high as the other room, but there's also some kind of candles mounted in the pillars here, but these kind of burn with a red flame. And as you get close to the what you thought was a statue here, you see this is a guy who seems to have been pretty viciously brutalized. You're kind of looking him over, and it looks like he's been beaten to hell. He's got bruises and cuts and whatever else all over him, and it almost seems like he has been nailed into the wall by some of his limbs. And you as you guys kind of approach, you can hear this really just kind of very faint kind of gasping noise coming from the direction of this. You guys also see kind of on the floor in front of where he is at, there is a symbol that seems to have been engraved into the stonework of the floor, which looks like this. That's just what the symbol looks like. It's not on a ring, but that's the only picture I have that has the symbol on it.
Okay.
What you roll a history check.
Is that one of the rings, the same ring that the people in the town that we killed, or the parents that we killed?
I did
Torta?
terrible on that.
Yes, Torta, you are correct. You remember this symbol well. That is a symbol that you remember seeing at the Gralhund residence a long time ago, when that business went down.
I'll kind of like shake Boo and tell him that it's the ring that the dad he killed had. Because I don't remember names. He's terrible at it.
I would say with Tordai jogging your memory with this, Boo, give me another history check, or give me a religion check with advantage. Given like what Tortoise just jogged your memory with.
Who's really scared?
All right. Boo, you know, Torta, brings to mind that night where you allegedly did some crimes, and you remember that this symbol is the symbol of Asmodeus. Who you know to be one of, well, kind of the deity of devils of the ninth plane, or of the nine hells. Big deal kind of guy.
For the first time, you kind of can sense Tortoise nervous. And he asks Boo, how long can we stay in that the gold pocket? And where will it open?
Well, I don't know that both of us could go in there, but maybe you could for a little while. I think out of character, I think that spell like had said like a little bit of time or something. I don't know. Maybe like bag of holding was 10 minutes.
Let me take a look. Let me see how that works. At demi plane.
I don't know that we can. I don't know. It'll open wherever the staff is. Torta, I gotta be honest with you. I think I may have gotten us in a situation.
Maybe this person will be nice like the lady was. She was beautiful. And he starts like fluttering off into the thoughts of this lady.
I don't think this one's gonna be beautiful. We may be able to talk our way out of this.
So, looking up demi-plane, it doesn't seem like it like it basically makes like a 30-foot cube room that you can do whatever you want with, and connect to with casting this spell. It doesn't seem to say anything about it being some sort of like airless void or anything like that. It's like a habitable room, so you could theoretically be in there. Like if you went in there and you didn't have a way to create another door to get back out, you would be stuck there in this 30-foot box in the midst of the plains. But yeah, I don't see anything about there being like some sort of like time limit or anything. It's just an accessible place with breathable air and whatnot, it seems like.
So just trying to understand out of character. With the ring, he can cast it another. I know it probably can't be used many times a day, but we could go in and come out tomorrow.
You could, like, if you wanted to like jump in there and like hide or something. Yeah, I don't see any reason why you couldn't.
At this point, Tordo is shrugging. It's just an idea. I don't do magic. That's you.
So while you guys are kind of standing here considering all this stuff, you've been looking at this guy that has been really roughed up and is currently nailed to the wall. And you guys have been to Raynar's place plenty of times, and it's a little bit tricky to tell just from the swelling and just how beat up he looks. But Boo, you are pretty strongly inclined to believe that this is Daggled Neverember. And you kind of continue hearing these just really raspy, just wheezing almost breaths, just coming out of this guy on the wall.
Boo has 3 manticore barbs. And
trying to remember where those came from.
we fought a manticore long time ago. On our way to see a monk.
Oh shit!
Not important.
We did. I was on the mount. Holy cow! Yeah, we did. Okay. Yep.
I've been saving these. And then he has some alchemist fire, and he uses those as Boo would. And then I'll turn to Torta and I'll say, okay, so I expected this guy to be elsewhere. So the problem is we've got to get out of here. Because I'm not quite strong enough to get us back. See, sometimes I don't think things through. And I wouldn't tell this to anyone else, but I'm a little impulsive.
Torta just kind of laughs and then taps his eye.
Fair.
So we've covered that. Should we try and... How much do I know of Asmodeus?
Well, of Asmodeus himself, I'd say just some general knowledge. I mean, he is the Lord of the Nine Hells. He's the biggest, baddest devil dude. He's in charge of that entire plane, and any and all devils and demons and whatnot are basically all his creation. But yeah, I mean, you recall with Asmodeus. I mean, you guys have seen this, before at the Gralhund residence. They had the ring and some cloaks and things that seemed to indicate that they were cultists of some kind of Asmodeus. You have and the other I know the other couple of times that you've done the little side things that the cast hunters have sent you on, with regards to people coming after their kids. There were various demon cultists that you guys had gone after with those, but none of them had been Asmodeus in particular. You remember the first ones that you guys had gone after, the first time that you guys had worked with the cast hunters, there was that farm that you guys went to just out east of town. And those ones were cultists of Yinogu, who, I mean, technically, you know who also kind of falls under. It's like a lesser demon under Asmodeus, in some ways, um, but not Asmodeus directly. Uh, I believe you had all. I believe you also saw this symbol at some point in the cart. I can't remember exactly where, but I feel like this symbol was somewhere in that cart. Um, it might have been like right up at the very end, with the jester gal,
That would make a
and
lot of sense.
and also the guy who was with her, who you later found out was Osvaldo Castellanter, their eldest son. Um, so you've come across it a few times.
Enough for Boo to know he's in a pickle.
A bit.
Well, I guess the only way is forward, sorta.
What if we call on that lady again? She seemed to like me. She looked at me.
No?
Toto just starts speaking her name loud. With a little bit of a peacock. But he's gonna follow Boo, so he stays in the circle of the ring.
Okay. All right. So, were you rocking up to like Daggold over here on the wall?
Yeah, I didn't want to get like descriptive or anything, but like he had those barbs, so even especially because Boo at this point assumes that he's not making it out of here. So he and he like one, there's very few things Boo appreciated, and he really appreciated the art that woman created, and he developed a very deep hatred and obsession with this moment. So like he uses the barbs on Degel creatively. Like he understands that Daggled is in like pain and like on a logical level, like Boo is intelligent enough to know that he's not really making it worse. Boo's like performing it's a catharsis moment for him, right?
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. That makes sense. So, I mean, you go and have your catharsis moment with these manticore barbs on Daggold, and like as you do, like as you like stab him with these, um, he clearly reacts to them, and like it's still very hoarse, but you can see him kind of struggle a bit from this, but the you hear a few last words as he passes from this, and you hear him say, kind of through gasps, "Be wary of the Castellanters," and then he dies.
Interesting.
And you two are alone down wherever this is.
Is somebody gonna be mad you just killed their plaything?
kind of comes to a little bit from what he was doing, and he's like, yes, probably.
Should we start looking for a way out?
Yeah, we probably should have a while ago. Is there any ways out that Boo sees, like out of this area or what have you?
Let's see here. Excuse me. Let me take a look here. Uh,
The astral sight that I have on, I can see in the dark both magic and non-magical at a distance of 120 feet.
okay. All right. So you from this particular room. I guess if you do an investigation check for me, Torta, if you're going to be looking around. Okay. All right. So you kind of look around in here a little bit. You don't really see anything that catches your eye. I mean, there's the kind of hallway back to the east that you guys had initially popped out in, with this gate that Torta had used. And there were some other like hallways back there that you guys had like passed by, that you could go check out. But otherwise, at least right around here, you don't see anything at the moment with your investigation.
All right.
Boo,
Backtrack.
are you checking it all, Boo, or?
Yeah, probably kind of nervously.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, Boo, you kind of poke around in here as well, and you, so you notice that at the very like back, of the rooms, like there was this kind of wall, kind of fat pillar of sorts that Daggle had gotten nailed to. And behind him, there's a bit of an alcove, and there is a kind of a small pool of water, and it flows to the north and the south out of here. But like the opening that it kind of flows into and out of the north and south, they're very, very tiny. You definitely cannot fit through them. It's like almost like a very small, just kind of pipe bringing it in and kind of flowing into this basin of sorts back here, and then back out the south. But you kind of poke around the walls in here a bit, and on the northern wall of the room, like you're kind of, poking and prodding at things, and you feel like you can hear the sound of water kind of through a portion of the wall to the north, a little louder than most, and you kind of press on it a bit, and like the walls, like the stones seem a little loose, like just kind of eroded by just time or whatever else. But you're able to kind of pull some of them away, and you feel like a little bit of a draft when you do so. and a bit of and a kind of a slight scent of like salt on the draft.
This might be a way out.
We can try.
That's all we can do.
All right. So, I'll move you guys up there in case you can't see it. So you move. You kind of both of you kind of push away some of these stones here, and you find yourself in kind of a small cave. And to the west of you, you see what looks like kind of like an underground stream that's kind of flowing through this cave. There's kind of a larger pool here, and you see it kind of it flows south into the wall, assumedly coming out in the room you guys were just in. And the cave kind of continues to the north a little bit, but the opening of the stream heading to the northwest, it's still pretty small, but enough that you think you could probably wriggle through with a little effort. It's kind of a tight squeeze. Like if you're walking through there sideways, and like the walls of this little stream's tunnel will probably be like right up in front of you and right behind you. But it seems like you could probably get out that way. The stream seems to be flowing in that direction.
Let's do it to it, man. Get out of here.
Who's kind of definitely following toward her more than kind of leading. He's very thrown off.
Okay.
He wasn't smart enough to plan beyond like his scheme.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right.
he's like nervous and kind of convinced he's not getting out of this one.
Toad is gonna look at him kind of condescending, but like, would you like to hold my hand?
He reaches out like before he could catch himself, and then like stops, and he's like, "No, let's do this," and then straightens up a bit because Torta called him out.
All right. So you guys are squeezing through that. The others of you, Zai, Jinku, and Mix, you guys are still up. Boo left through the gate with this scheme of his. Torta went with him, and so the three of you are kind of standing here, just kind of like, what? And I guess like Jinku's are like, what are you two thinking about this? As Boo just kind of poofs off through this gate with Torta.
And leaves your gold laying on the ground.
Well, I knew Boo was selfish, but I didn't think he would just do that. How are we supposed to get all this gold back to Troll Skull now?
And like you're kind of standing there looking a bit at a loss for words, and Lyra is still kind of standing here nearby, and says, not to worry, I can send it back along with you if you need it.
That would be greatly appreciated.
So you three, blink, and you find yourselves, like all three of you, um, are in the basement of Troll Skull. You guys open your eyes, and you're surrounded by the various casks that are down there, as well as mixes, various alchemical supplies, and kind of pouring out of the air around you, all over the floor, is the uh, rest of the gold. Um, it just kind of spills everywhere. You got a veritable little dragon horde in your basement now.
Well, Mix, you may be out a lab for a little while until we figure out how to handle this.
Mix silently gives a thumbs up. All right, and so for one last thing before we end for tonight, the Torda Boo, you guys are kind of shimmying through this kind of wet crevice here, out of this cave, and after what seems like too long, probably seems longer than it does with the combination of just the confusion swirling in your minds as to what the fuck you just stumbled across. The cave kind of opens up, and you feel the ground beneath you kind of change from stone to kind of more of like a sand mud texture, and you emerge on what looks to be a coast. You see what looks like kind of flats of kind of mud and sand, kind of stretching off to the north and south from where you are. And give me a perception check, both of you.
Would you say that Boo is the wizard of the coast?
Oh my god.
You're welcome.
I never add that to my title.
Oh
It's
man.
such a great
That was a good one.
dad joke there.
That was a good one. All right. So, Torda, you're looking around, and off in the distance to the south, like a decent walk away, you see the walls of Waterdeep. It seems that you're on like the mud flats that are northwest of Waterdeep.
Which way you want to head, buddy? North, south?
Anywhere but here. Let's
Yeah.
go north.
I mean, you're a light fellow, and I can kind of make a quicker journey if we want to get some distance put away today.
We will pull a coin out and call, heads north or tails south. And rolls odds north.
Okay.
So
Evens.
he points south and says,
Alright.
I guess we're going this way. Let's get out of here before I regret it.
All right. So you and Torda begin heading your way south, down the mud flats, towards the walls of Waterdeep. And as you do, like, those last words of Daggle kind of keep kind of replaying themselves in your mind, Boo, and and Torda too. You were there. You heard them too. To be wary. of the Castellanters.
Help me understand the context there. I'm sorry. I'm trying to. There's a lot of names, and I really should have taken better notes, and I didn't, and then I just.
The lanterns are the family that have the deal with the demons, and
Oh,
their eldest kid was the one that we like killed, and
They're the family that you've been working for that a third of this gold is going to.
yeah. They're supposed to get a third of the gold. We're
Which
supposed
is-
to meet with them after we meet with the pirate, and
Yeah, and the
they're
third
the
of the
ones that Boo really doesn't like because they made a deal to sell their children.
yeah, and the gold was to basically fulfill an escape clause from the contract that they had made. Basically paying off whoever they made this deal with, whatever demon they made this deal with, in exchange for not taking their current pair of twins.
That's a lot for Boo to think about.
It is a lot for Boo to think about, but you gotta walk to think about it on. Alright, well, that was definitely not what I was expecting for this session at all. None of that was planned in any way whatsoever.
Really going off the cuff.
Really going off the cuff there. But I think this makes it interesting. I think, like, I was definitely thrown for a loop a bit there with Boo's shenanigans here, but I think this made for an interesting little thing to lead into next time, with what Boo and Torta walked in themselves into. So nice, that worked out.
Yeah, good job. That was a really good session. Player, DM to DMs. I apologize for throwing you for a loop, but also, that was a good session.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. You got a lot of good roleplay at that time. That was really great. Good job all around. And hopefully next time we'll have Baza here. Again, it's a shame that he missed out on us fucking going visiting his mom. That could have had some interesting things. But hopefully he'll be here next time when, unless some other very out of left field thing happens. We definitely should be ending next time, pending no unexpected contrivances.
Until Mix finds out that Torta wants to bang his mom.
God. Oh no. Oh boy.
Goddamn, if Boo thought of that, that'd be almost enough to make him go back.
Oh.